Hello everybody, I hope you're all well. Welcome back to another Torchwood Big Finish audio drama review. We are halfway through 2024 already. How did that happen? How incredibly stressful. I've been away from doing reviews now for quite a while. I decided to take a little bit of a break. I'm still on a bit of a break, to be honest, but I decided to pop back briefly to review the latest Torchwood main range story, which is of course the restoration of Catherine as written by James Goss, featuring the return of the one and only Sergeant Andy Davison alongside Norton Folgate. It's a duo of which that I couldn't resist listening to because I know that they are incredibly upbeat and very, very funny. This one is a period drama and we have a lovely cover art this time round by Sean Longmore. Once again, he has done an excellent job and I instantly went into the story incredibly curious as to what I was going to find. And on that note, before I dig into what I found within this story, just as a reminder, Torchwood does of course contain adult material, making it not suitable for younger listeners. The restoration of Catherine sees Andy and Norton unite once again for a frolic in history. The paths of 2020 and 1950s Soho collide in the rather large Winter Grange house during the 17th century, a time period of which that doesn't belong to Andy nor Norton. It is here Catherine de Winter awaits her suitors. With the death of her father, the terms of the will state that the house and the assets within must be passed down to Catherine and her husband, of which she must find. Therefore, before the clock strikes midnight, she must pick her new husband, but the choices are far from perfect. We have Sir Reginald Hardgoing and Squire Edmund Dashington, which are characters of which that you can guess very much what they are like from their names alone, which is rather impressive. And we also have normal Andy thrown into the mix as well. It's very clear at the very offset of this story that the arrival of Norton and Andy has led to some time disturbances, but will the clock ever strike 12? This story, as you would expect, is a lot of fun, uniting Andy and Norton Folgate once again. They are a brilliant duo. They lead with lots of laughs, overacting, innuendo, manipulation, and lots of adult content. I think if you've enjoyed their previous outings, the likes of Torchwood Soho, Goodbye Piccadilly, and everything else, this one will be right up your street. The stories are always very humorous, there's lots of great jokes and double meaning, and occasionally there is also quite a few bleak moments as well. But I tend not to take stories with these two characters too seriously. It's a bit of harmless Torchwood historical fun, except this time we have time manipulation at play, and it's very much not harmless as the world could quite possibly end. But Norton definitely decides to respond to that with a little bit of harmless fun on multiple occasions throughout this story. For those more angled towards this sci-fi story, perhaps the likes of Doctor Who, this episode may leave you a tad unsatisfied at points. To me, the methods in which that Andy and Norton are brought back together is a little bit blurry at the start of the story. Everything fits together a tad too well. It's not the type of time travel explanation that you'd usually get from the likes of Doctor Who. It leaves quite a lot of ambiguity on the sci-fi practical stuff, much like a number of the recent Torchwood outings actually from the monthly range, including the Yantology with Missing Molly and Disco. But I think that this episode isn't about the sci-fi. We don't really care about the sci-fi, we just care about who Norton is shagging in a rather rich-looking mansion. The portrayal of comedy as Reginald and Edmund go after Catherine I found rather funny. It's very theatrical, very over the top, there's lots of alcohol involved, and they are also completely out of their depth. They clearly only want one thing from Catherine, and that is her large house and wealth. But when Norton walks into the room, however, along with Andy, things most certainly change. I absolutely love that instantly Catherine believes that Andy is the main person and Norton is his servant. Lovely, lovely lines. That obviously goes down very, very well. If you've had experience of Norton Folgate in the past, you will certainly know what to expect with this one. Samuel Barnett is hilarious, posing as Andy's rather unusual Belgian servant throughout. But Torchwood being Torchwood, Reginald and Edmund have also taken a little bit of a shine to him and want more than just regular servant duties. It's basically a historical sex romp. This is one that I recommend definitely listening to with your headphones. You have been warned. Tom Price, as always, is also delightful as Andy. He's kind, he's thoughtful, and in the face of basically being told that he's quote-unquote normal Andy with no title or no massive estate, that doesn't particularly faze him as a character. He's just a very down-to-earth human. And without a doubt, Norton and Andy are a really enjoyable double act. They clearly care a lot for one another, but there's also the usual odd backstabbing manipulation elements in there as well, particularly on Fulgate's side, which adds a very hesitant, prickly sort of element to this relationship. And I like how that is used at the start of this story. Both of them believe that the other is responsible for getting them in this situation and that the other person wants something from them. Usually it's Norton wanting Andy to fill out a certain role, so he just turns up and says, "What do you want me to do? Let's just get this done with." But in reality, neither of them actually know what's going on. And I like how that plays out, especially in the later half of the story, which naturally I'm not going to mention what happens, but I like the ending to this one. It's nice and it makes a little bit of a change. And I'm really looking forward to hearing more from this duo within the upcoming Torchwood Soho box set, Ascension, coming out in July, as that set has felt like a long time coming. And there are certainly multiple things within this story that are a long time coming, but don't dwell on that. I think that Ebony does a really good job as Catherine de Winter. I think she's a very intriguing character. She clearly knows what she wants from life, and the fact that she has been landed with this house and needs to find a husband, she's doing it very, very reluctantly, and I think that she's this very observational figure. She definitely has a lot going on in her mind, and we only briefly see on occasion what's going on underneath the surface. I think that she's a really interesting component to this story because she sees a lot whilst also not seeing much, because while she is trying to find a husband, she also sees her potential suitors going off somewhere else, which, indeed. Again, it's a very fun story, and if you are a fan of this duo, I imagine you will get a lot from this episode, but I imagine it's also a story of which that will be very difficult to get into if you haven't experienced previous Andy and Norton episodes. Of course, this is a standalone story, it's not attached to a plot arc or anything like that, and maybe some listeners will struggle with that, because in a sense the Torchwood main range is rather directionless, there's no continuation of plots, but I kind of like that about this series. It's an anthology series, and each and every month you are getting something new, you are getting something exciting, and especially at the minute, as I say, I've been away from basically listening to Big Finish or filming reviews now for quite a while, and when you see a Torchwood monthly range come out, you know it's just going to be a 1 hour adventure that you can immerse yourself within and not need to worry about additional context. I think stories like this, which have lots of humorous and brilliantly bold moments that put a smile on your face and get you laughing, I think I really appreciate that. And because it is a James Goss script, there is so much energy within the dialogue. The way that the characters interact feels so natural, but also at the same time very chaotic. This episode starts in a very chaotic way, and I think the energy that is portrayed within audio, especially within a Goss script, is just very, very impressive, because it is the type of witty, quick chemistry that I imagine would only work within the visual medium, but no, within an audio format it works very well too. And production-wise, I would also just like to give some credit to Toby on the sound design. This episode is very, very fast-paced. We have lots of sort of horses and carts. It feels very real. We also have the house being nicely represented as well, some echoing sounds, some bouncing mattress sounds here and there as well. It's very, very real. It feels very real, but also Blair's music, again, as always. We have a brand new rendition, a 17th century version of the Torchwood theme, another variant to add to the collection, which I am very, very appreciative of, but also the music as well. It embraces the period, and it very much gets you in the mood. It's a very theatrical piece again. It's very over the top. The music matches the energy. I think that that is the brilliant thing about this episode and the series overall. It is clear that everyone behind the scenes, but also the actors as well, are very, very passionate about delivering a very, very strong story at every single level. So there we go. That is the restoration of Catherine. It's a fun story. I liked it. It won't be for everyone, and I think that if you have listened to the previous Torchwood Soho box sets or the previous Norton stories, then yes, definitely get this one. Would I recommend this one if you haven't listened to those stories? No, probably not. I recommend listening to the first Torchwood Soho box set or Goodbye Piccadilly, seeing if that floats your boat, and then going from there. And it is all new beginnings at Torchwood at the minute, as we have in next month, July 2024's release, Art Decadence, as we see Torchwood being represented within the 1920s, featuring 2 brand new Torchwood characters, and also the return of the Mara as well, which sounds very, very exciting. So who knows? Hopefully I'll be taking a look at that one in a few weeks' time. So thank you very much for watching this review. I really hope you have enjoyed it. Do of course stay tuned on The Host Productions for regular Big Finish reviews from the Torchwood line. Have a nice day. I shall see you all next time. Bye bye.